Today, I invite Kenyans to interrogate the hustler narrative. First, I want us to look at the hustler narrative as a dangerous thing. I've argued before in public that the hustler narrative in the hands of William Samoei Ruto is a dangerous card, but that is as far as politics is concerned. Today, I want us to interrogate the idea of the hustler narrative. The idea, not the politics. Beginning from what I have said, that the hustler narrative is an identity problem. Politics of identity. When you play politics of identity, you are getting into a very dangerous zone. Always, identity is built around race, and we know what that has done in many parts of the world. The conflict that arises out of race politics, race ideology. Identity is played around religion. We need not mention the havoc that identity politics around religion has caused in this world over the years. Identity politics is built around tribe, around ethnicity, conflict in countries where there are two or more dominant ethnic groups. Identity politics played around ethnicity in countries that have been torn apart, countries that have been involved in civil strife for years, some for generations. Identity politics is now being played in this country around class. Class identity is in fact a much more dangerous card than all the other forms that I've talked about. The famous poem from Germany, when they came for the socialist, I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionist. I did not speak out because I wasn't a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews. I didn't speak out. Why should I? I was not a Jew. And finally, when they came for me, there was nobody to speak out for me. Identity politics that creates us versus them. I'm repeating this almost in the third week in a row. When you create us versus them in a country, you are treading on very, very dangerous grounds. And the hustler narrative is an identity narrative. The question I pose to the proponents of this narrative is whether they are aware that Kenya is a fragile socioeconomic state. And any form of upheaval, we cannot handle it. Go back to 2008 January, after a couple of days of what happened, and there wasn't almost any food in any store in this country. Supermarkets were almost empty. That people were going to lose lives, not because of a bullet, not because of anything, but just because of hunger. You feel hungry until you die. We are not that stable socioeconomically. Now, let me look at the hustler narrative today, this morning. First, in terms of whether it can work. So that we are saying this is a dangerous thing that can destroy us as a country. But is it something that can even work? Can you build an economy around a wheelbarrow? And just how many wheelbarrows can you give? And if you gave everybody a wheelbarrow, what will they be doing with the wheelbarrow? It's all nonsense. Nairobi town doesn't even have 500 mkokotenis. Supposing you had 2,000, would the traffic flow in Nairobi? There wouldn't be any traffic flow. We must be organizing the so-called hustlers, the border people, the mkokoteni people, the wheelbarrow people, and harness what we can as a people to make them operate within a formal structure. If, for example, we said we wanted to get rid of border borders and the small matatus, we will not be sending our boys and girls home. We will make them owners of organized transport. I talked this up on a TV show with, I think, Kimutai or somebody, the chairman of one of these matatu associations. I told them, you do not resist the new buses. No, you organize the touts and everybody else with the support of government to be able to own the new buses. The type of thing you see in Dar es Salaam, they become owners as we formalize our economy so that the economy can grow and create jobs to employ the so-called hustlers. So it can't work. But it is dangerous because identity politics begins by identifying an enemy. The Germans were made to believe their problems were caused by Jews. That's how identity politics works. So the dynasty is being identified as an object of hate. That we are suffering in this country because of dynasties. The dynasty today is Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta, Gideon Moi. By the way, do I know Gideon's father? Do you know Gideon's father? Meaning Moi's father. Do you know Kenyatta's father? Do you know Jaramogi's father? Were they dynasties? It's equivalent to saying that sharp Uhuru's son should not succeed Uhuru if he wanted to be a politician. That Nick Ruto should not go into politics if he wanted, because his father is a deputy president. That doesn't work like that anywhere. So identity politics will first identify these big families. But as sure as it normally works, the dynasty who represent the suffering of the people will move to anybody who is rich. So if you are rich, you'll soon become an object of hate. And if you are rich, you are not just rich because you live in Lavington. It will move to those who live in Buruburu, to the person who lives in Korogosho, to the person who is suffering, to the Mkokoteni pusher. When you drive by in your car, you are a rich person. This thing could be dangerous because those who are blindly supporting this thing and they belong to the middle class, they must ask themselves, when the object of health finally crystallizes and forms, the poor will be going for the rich. The rich are not the rich. The rich is anybody in the eyes of a person who is suffering. Manyora is a rich person in the eyes of a villager from Lombe, where I come from. They don't know I'm a very ordinary Kenyan. The rich is a person who drives his small car, which he has paid for by taking a SACCO loan. And therefore, before you support this thing, know you are also the target. Let me invite people to interrogate this. Somewhere in Congo, thereabouts, there were people fighting, two forces, rebel and government forces. When they got to the rich neighborhoods, they declared a truce. The soldiers, the people who are fighting, they declared a ceasefire to be able to loot and take their property that they have rooted back in the village, then come back and resume fighting. If Kofi Annan did not save us, in Kisumu, the boys who are now heading to Mlimani, in Mlimani they were not looking for a person from a certain community. They were looking for things, the things they admire in life, which you people have. They would never have cared who owned those things, whose house that was. They would have gone for the electronics they have always admired. So be careful as you support this narrative. Finally, I must also point out that this narrative will not be necessary if those peddling the narrative and they are in positions of power came up with policies. Why are you giving somebody a wheelbarrow? You are giving him a wheelbarrow because he doesn't have a job. He doesn't have a job because electricity is so expensive and you are perhaps responsible for that. And therefore the industry cannot survive to employ that boy. The boy is taking a wheelbarrow from you because you have allowed the importation of rubbish into this country, killing all our industries. So if you had good policies, there will be no need for people to give wheelbarrows. People will then create jobs, get jobs. Finally, very finally, I want to point out that I hope William Samoei Ruto and those supporting him on this hustler thing will now abandon this and seek truce and seek reconciliation, seek a handshake. In any case, that is necessary. But to Kenyans, If they don't heed what I'm telling them, worry not, because the hustler narrative is a bubble, and the bubble will burst. It will burst because of the inherent contradictions. The contradiction of a person waving at hustlers a roof from the roof of a Lexus, from the roof of a V8, a 20 million machine, and saying we are hustlers. It's a contradiction of billionaires saying they are hustlers. Hustler number 1 owned a plot at 25 years, William Ruto. Hustler number 2 or number 5 in the line, Sudi, owned a Lexus at 25 or 26. These are contradictions. And like the communist society fell around 1988, 89, 90 because of inherent contradictions, so will the bubble burst because of the contradictions. Secondly, the bubble will burst because I'm sure those supporting Ruto will begin to see the danger they are bringing to themselves. Because if this thing goes full throttle, if it moves full speed to its natural development, because this thing assumes a life of its own, a momentum, you will be consumed by the fire you are fanning. And the final, Kenyans, don't worry about the hustler narrative. It is a bubble that will burst, because in this country, to organize around class is not easy. We are still a society that organizes around the tribe. So in the fullness of time, everything will settle, and just like water finds its own level, the people of this country will remember who they are, and they will not organize along the class thing, along the narrative of hustlers. They will organize in the manner they have done, which is not what I want, but which is what happens. Because the Luo professor, when he goes to the voting booth, he becomes a Luo. The engineer from Ukambani, akiingia kwa debe pale akipiga, yeye anakuwa Mkamba. The Kikuyu nurse, the Kikuyu doctor, akiingia pale anasahau yeye ni daktari. The billionaire from Murang'a, when he enters the voting booth, he remembers he's a Kikuyu. The primordial instincts that we must fight, they will prevail, and by default, it is a needle that will burst the balloon that is the hustler narrative. It is a needle that will burst the bubble. So worry not, except, as we say, worry not. We are advising those peddling this to know that this thing has never worked well in any country, in any society. Never has it worked well, because it will consume you also. Mtego wa panya, kuingia waliomo na wasiomo. This morning with this a takeaway for William Ruto and your supporters. The hustler narrative is a dangerous idea. Abandon it. Pursue your political ambition using other routes, because this is not something you can handle. But luckily for us, and I'm warning you and advising you for free, the hustler narrative is a bubble. It will burst.